Hi, this is Leigh, and I'd like to welcome you to Alchemy Intuitive Arts. I am your tour guide to take you on a cosmic trip around the spiritual galaxy. So if that piques your interest, then punch your ticket and join me. If you'd like to smash the like button and subscribe, I would love that. If you're a new subscriber, thank you. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. And if you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. And with that said, let's go. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that many might find a little controversial. Maybe not. Maybe it's everyday stuff to some of you. But I'm going to talk about rituals. So we all have our rituals, don't we? Mine is I get up in the morning, I drink some water or some coconut water. I make myself a cup of espresso. I lay in bed, watch a bit of YouTube, and I feed my dogs a snack. Then I get on with my day. Of course, I say my prayers and meditate when I first open my eyes. And if I feel anything negative, I brush it off right away. Or I may wake up with a dream or some clairaudience, perhaps a song is playing in my head. And then I'll try and interpret that right when I wake up. But with all that said, we all have our rituals. We have our morning rituals, we have our evening rituals. But the rituals I'm going to talk about today are a little bit different from those kinds of rituals. Now, rituals can be as simple as things that we do each day. Perhaps our prayer, or we say our affirmations, or we exercise, or we do things to bring in what it is we want to manifest. And those are types of rituals, and those are good rituals. Now, we all know that there are people out here in this world that may not always have the best intentions. And I'm going to talk about a type of ritual that seems to be in the air, or at least in my energy field right now, and it comes to light periodically depending on what's going on. And this is a type of ritual, and I call it a humiliation ritual. And this type of ritual is done with intent by other people to degrade, to potentially impact the energy of another individual, and can be used as a form of a spell. It can also be used as a way to harvest energy off of somebody. And these are types of rituals. I mean, we've all heard those creepy stories. You go to the dark side of, say, TikTok, you might hear some stories about rituals, scary rituals that might even involve people and other things. And those are also done to harvest energy, to create a benefit by taking typically from a more pure soul and harvest that energy to create money, beauty, success, clout, you name it, whatever you want. And this is a real thing. I mean, these types of rituals, do happen. And they do happen. These types of rituals do happen. And they can happen in other forms as well. They can be, for example, rituals on TV. Big shows or big events might have rituals at the beginning of that event. For example, the Olympics. Or perhaps there's even a big release of maybe a product or an event that's happening. And that might include a ritual, to celebrate that. And that type of ritual is meant to bring in energy, bring in success to that situation, to that product, to those people. We know we just saw a huge event at Notre Dame. All the major leaders were there, and that in it of itself was a type of ritual. There was a lot of friendship there. There's a new president, and so everybody was getting chummy with him. It's a way of bringing good fortune in. Energy is a real thing. Energy flows. It flows from me to you. It flows from you to me. It can flow in good ways. It can flow in bad ways. It all depends on the intent. Now, sometimes we may find rituals occurring in things like videos. We recently saw video that came out that was at Christmas time. A lot of people had a lot of stuff to say about that. When I watched that video, I saw it as some type of a ritual. It had a lot of people feeling off, and that's probably one of your first indicators of a ritual that is meant to be some kind of spell casting or harvesting, or in this particular instance could have been a humiliation ritual. And these types of rituals may be targeted. I'm just saying it came across to me like that. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if that was just for shits and giggles. I don't know if that was a ritual. I don't know if that was a spell. I don't know if that was just to get some cash. I'm not sure, but it definitely had a purpose. But I saw it more as like some kind of humiliation ritual. And it was really seemed to be downing people who are religious. Christmas. It seemed to be downing people with addictions. It seemed to be downing people who didn't have money. It even put sex in like a disturbing kind of way, which sex is supposed to be beautiful. And I know that lust is one thing. It just came off differently. And so to me that was a form of a spell casting or a ritual. In my opinion, humiliation rituals either meant to make fun of something or someone. I'm sure it was for entertainment purposes only. And of course, this video, as it says in the front, is for entertainment purposes only. So use your discretion. You know, this is just an opinion from a broke bitch, right? This is just an opinion of mine. I know nothing. I'm just speaking what I see. There's other types of ritual. It may be rituals to set you up for something. Maybe somebody comes along and they love bomb you, make you believe that something beautiful is going to happen, and then they dump your ass. Or maybe somebody tries to take your money and you feel sorry for them, or you feel like it's important and you give them your money, and then you see that they don't really need your money, that they were really just making fun of you. Well, I've fallen for all of these tricks myself. Maybe I just have my heart in the wrong place, but yeah, I've fallen for the tricks. And this is going out to other people that have too. But some people, for whatever reason, they could be at your work. They may try and embarrass you about your work. You know, it could be on social media. They may try and embarrass you about what you post on social media. Or they may talk about you on social media, whether you know it or not. Or there's even other types of humiliation, which is fabricated humiliation, where people will use AI or doctored pictures to make you look like something you're not. You know, a lot of women have their reputation ruined, and this could happen to men too. Take the gender how you choose, but they can have their reputation ruined by a photograph or by something that's implied or by a video that's doctored to look like you when it really isn't you. I mean, these are all humiliation rituals. And some people thrive on these things. Some people do them for various reasons. Again, it's to me, it's mainly to harvest energy from others. And then, of course, there's the worst kind of rituals, which I'm not gonna talk about, but it has to do with innocent beings. And I think we can all agree that any kind of ritual, and especially these types where energy is being harvested, are not going to benefit the individuals that conduct them. I mean, the energetic signature of that ritual is that you may, for a period of time, experience a win, but eventually that energy is, if it's negative, is going to turn around and bite you in the ass, or bite one of your children, or something like that. Maybe you'll have some bad karma of some sort, who knows. And depending on how deep and how often those rituals have been done is going to determine how deep and how bad the karma is. And there are people, they can feel that energy when it's coming at them. They know exactly when that's headed their way, and they know how to defend themselves from it. And I've put out, I think it was my previous video, how to protect yourself from dark energy. And I suggest everyone take a look at it, especially now, because the energy is getting more and more heavy. 2025, we're going to feel and experience some heavy events. And these may involve rituals. 2025 is the year of the snake. And so we're going to see both sides of the snake. The snake is going to be slithering around and creating trouble. And then there's going to be the shedding. We all know the snake sheds its skin. And that's almost like the anti-ritual situation. And I think we're going to see a lot of that coming up here in the next year and beyond. So if you find yourself feeling funny, feeling lightheaded, feeling weird feelings in your chest or your stomach, if you know that something bad is happening, but it doesn't feel like your original thought, maybe you were in a fine mood before that and all of a sudden you're feeling weird, then perhaps you are being subject to some kind of ritual. And if you have somebody in your life, they may directly be pulling some kind of humiliation ritual on you. And one of the most common ones has to do with your self-esteem. They might say things about your weight. You're either too fat or too slim. They may say things about your age. You're either too old or too young. They may say things about your looks. You're either ugly or you're too pretty. They may say things about your color. You're evil if you're this color, or you're evil if you're that color. You know, whatever that is, these are some of the most common ones. Another one has to do with intellect. People will make fun of your intellect. You're either stupid or those smart people. You know, everybody's got something to say. You're either educated or you're uneducated. You know, you have money or you don't have money. You know, everybody puts people in a box. Those are ways we see people humiliating other people, and typically it's to gain benefit in some kind of way. Perhaps you want to date somebody, and you've noticed that that person has interest in somebody else. Then you get to town and you start bad-mouthing the crap out of that person. Oh, they're stupid, or did you hear what they said now, or you know, have you seen their blemishes, or you know, their hair sucks, or they're the wrong color, they don't make enough money, or they're in the wrong, you know, maybe that they say people are sex workers or players, or they're hopping from bedroom to bedroom, whatever. These are all ways that people want to get a leg up in a situation. So if somebody's doing that with you, just take note of it, because if somebody is bad-mouthing somebody else consistently, the person they're bad-mouthing has never said anything bad about them, then you have to ask yourself, what is this about? What is this person's agenda? Do they want my money? Do they want to hop in the sack? Do they want clout? Do they want to undermine that person? Why are they trying to humiliate that person? Why? I mean, if you're an enlightened being, you don't participate in that type of behavior unless you're trying to enlighten people about a situation. For example, I talked about, you know, these different rituals. My goal is to enlighten people. I'm not going to cast stones on people's choices in life. They can choose to live however they choose. That's everybody's free will. We talk about free will. Free will is the way that karmic lessons come about and how we choose to deal with them. Do we choose to take that lesson, or do we choose to brush it off, ignore it? Of course, if we ignore it, it's going to come back, bite us in the ass again. If you feel that coming towards you, protect yourself. Keep your vibe high. Pray, meditate. Do joyful things. And with that said, peace, love.